Alright, what's good, you guys? We got another video for y'all. This video is called. Let's see what it's called. I started the video. My fault, y'all. But I want to see the title. The title is called NBA 2K18 Defense, Rebounding, Badges, Lonzo Shot, Dunking, More Features, etc., etc. by Knowing TV. We're gonna go ahead and watch this video and see what he's talking about this video, but we're gonna react to it and just see his thoughts about the game, because he went out there and played 2K first before anybody, like not before anybody, but before like a lot of us. Like they got handpicked. A handful of people was like him, Doms, and some other people that played on the Pro Am team. They went out and played 2K together, so they know everything about it. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta find out through them. And I'm gonna react to his video today. Let's see what he's talking about.
Yo, what's good, everybody on YouTube? It's your boy Knowing TV, and today I will be pointing out the noticeable differences in defense in NBA 2K18 and NBA 2K17. So the first thing I want to start off with is the bumping animations. You guys know that bump animation in NBA 2K17 when you just run into a defender and they'll call a blocking foul or charge foul just because of the fact that you hit turbo running too hard into the defender. That animation is now out of the game.
Thank you.
You will no longer be
called. Hold on. Thank you. That it's out of the game, because that happened so much to me during team up. In park, they wouldn't call a charge. They would just you would run into the guy and the animation would just keep going. Like it would just be stupid. You could either run out of bounds or something. Like it was something dumb would happen, but you wouldn't get the charge call. So it would just, the animation would happen, and you would just be running into the guy, and then y'all be in the animation just sitting there for a minute, and then somebody could score off of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that's out the game. Okay, that was such a glitch. I'm not surprised they didn't patch that, because 2K they don't patch certain stuff, but I'm glad that's out the game now. Thank you.
Foul or blocking foul straight off strictly defense, which I think is really nice. They still have, of course, charge fouls in the game. They made baseline a lot much more easier to defend. The sideline cheese where users would just walk the baseline without hitting turbo. It will now make them post up. There's also a big difference that I saw in the defensive settings that was not in the game in NBA 2K17. And it's that you can change the intense defense in your settings. So you guys have a bar. You guys know that bar in your settings where you can increase it from 0 to 100. That will now be allowed on defense, on intense defense. Another thing that was very noticeable was last year, you didn't have like a defensive grade that will tell you like how you defended a player. This year in NBA 2K18, if you heavily contested a shot, it will pop up on your screen heavily contested. It will also pop up lightly contested if it was lightly contested. Okay. And also late contest, which I think is very good, because if it's heavily contested, it makes you know that the shot is most likely not going to drop. And I feel like that was definitely something we needed. Also, there's no defensive bar in NBA 2K18. As you guys know from last year, there was a defensive bar that would go from green, yellow, or red to let you know how you defended an opponent. But in NBA 2K18, the defensive meter is now gone. There's a lot more bumping animations as well, and you also fall on less ankle breakers. So I think it's very good
that's good, because people spam and dribble cheese.
Defensive mechanics that
one spam, you on the ground.
Have control on your player. One thing that I noticed was a big difference was in the NBA 2K17, when you leave a defender, it kind of pulls you in like a magnetic pull, and that also goes for screens as well. Like it kind of like drags you and slides you away from the defender. That is also fixed in NBA 2K18. You will have better control of your player from sliding and getting crossed off certain animations, which I think is lovely. Because last year a lot of people would just spam dribble moves until they got an ankle breaker animation, but this year it's actually really hard to break ankles. Now, a big problem in NBA 2K17 that's very controversial was the steal success.
Yeah, steals were pretty crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Let me pause it. I ain't gonna lie, I spammed a lot of dribble moves. I mean, I spammed a lot of like reaching. I spammed the X button a lot on defense, because it's like, if you're spamming dribble moves, bro, and you're losing stamina, I'm gonna reach in no matter what. I'm reaching in, bro. I'm reaching in. Why can't I reach in, but you can spam dribble moves? You know what I'm saying? It's just fair. It's fair game. So I just reached in a lot. I ain't gonna lie, and I got a lot of steals, but I got a lot of fouls too. So
In NBA 2K18, they've actually made it harder for you to get a steal success. Okay. As I said before,
I am mad at that. I am mad at
you
that.
guys can follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. As I said before, that there's less bump steals. You know how when you run into a defender and they just automatically just strip the ball from you. That animation is no longer effective, but
Okay.
you can still reach, but they'll call more fouls than they'll call actual steals. Okay. Another noticeable thing I noticed on offense, you guys, was a lot of you guys were discussing if there's any hot spots. Like, is your player going to be able to shoot hot spots? Is there a red ring underneath your player? The answer is yes and no. Okay. When I looked at certain players' hot spots, there were hot zones, but there's no red ring indicator underneath your mob player that allows you to tell those hot zones. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There is a fire indicator for when you get hot. So like in NBA 2K14, most of you guys remember how there was a fire indicator next to your name. That emblem is actually back, as well as the ice. If you're cold, it has a little ice, the little frost emoji right next to your name, which I think is very cool. Another thing I wanted to discuss was the dunking animations. I know a lot of you guys were saying that it was less effective to dunk in NBA 2K17. In NBA 2K18, I used James Harden, and James Harden has silver posterizer, and I was getting pretty decent good contact dunk animations on silver posterizer. So that just makes me think, like, if there was mob players in the game, if Hall of Fame badges on posterizer will be overpowered or not. I definitely think.
So what you're saying is niggas just going to get dunked on again, like in 2K13, you just run in there and dunk on the whole squad. That's what you're saying? Annoying, huh? That's what you're saying, cuz? I hope that's what you're saying, cuz. Cause like from what I'm hearing, you saying niggas that can dunk is unguardable. I hope not, nigga. Nah, I'm playing. Nah, I hope I ain't cheesy. I hope the whole game is not cheesy at all. I hope it's just a balanced game for everybody. If you're good, you should get rewarded. If you're playing bad, you should not get rewarded. Like niggas that play bad in 2K17 still get rewarded, and they talk junk like they're good. I don't like that. But yeah, let's start again.
That the archetype slasher, if they do bring it back, will be a used position this year, because last year in NBA 2K17 it really wasn't that effective, but I think it's going to be great in NBA 2K18. Also, another thing that I noticed, you guys, was the free throws. Okay, when you shoot a free throw, it will now show you the percentage and chance of it going in. Okay, so if I shoot a free throw, it will say 87%, 60%, etc. And if it shows that means I have an 87% chance of the ball.
But they had that this 2K though. I could have sworn they had that this 2K.
Going in. I really like this new feature, how they actually tell you, because I didn't think that the grades were much effective. You guys,
they did have grades. You're right.
B plus or A on the release, and you'll still miss it. And sometimes you'll just wonder and just be thinking like, yo, like why'd I miss the shot? But now it will actually tell you the free throw percentage, which I think is really dope. Now, I know that you guys were complaining how last year how the screens were effective, like they were too effective.
OP.
As I said before on Twitter, you guys link in the description. As I said before on Twitter, we played the game for
fucking P.
And I used players who had gold brick wall, not Hall of Fame brick wall, but gold brick wall, and I didn't fall one time. Okay. Now they did say they rewrote the whole entire screen script, which means that they like it's way much easier to get around screens. But as I said before, I didn't fall one time. I do kind of like the screen system. I think that they need to keep it. But brick wall is just not as effective as it was in NBA 2K17. And
thank God.
Personally, I just felt like NBA 2K17.
Hold on, I need to thank God. But nah, I screened a lot in 2K17. It's just like, again, fair game. People want to spam and do all this cheesiness. Why can't I set screens and reach in? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I did that, but you did this. Now, I'm not going to be mad if they take out the spamming of the steals in the OP brick wall, just as long as they take out spamming for dribblers. Like, if they take out the OP brick wall, the spamming for defense, and the spamming for dribblers, I'm fine, bro. We good. You take a, I used the stuff that I had to do because the stuff they did was even more cheese. I had to reach in and set brick wall screens because they wanted to spam dribble moves, bro. So yeah. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, my recording messed up. But as I was saying, I'm talking about the screening. Like, the screening was bad. Yeah, I know the screening was bad. The dribbling was even worse. The dribbling was worse than screening and the reach in, the spam reach in. So I did that to counteract the spamming for dribblers, for the cheap dribble gods, so to speak. So yeah, if they're taking all that out and rearranging it and making it balanced, I'm happy, bro. Hopefully it's true. Annoying us saying it's true. He played the game before us. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they don't have no stupid patch to where they just change everything back. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna see, bro.
17, how it was overpowered. Now, a lot of you guys were discussing rebounding, okay? Now, rebounding in NBA 2K17, it was pretty decent to me. I think there was a lot of stuff they could have fixed. But in NBA 2K18, one noticeable difference that I know is that when you tip the ball, you guys know the rebound animation when you tip it out. In NBA 2K17, there was a big problem to when you tip it out, with the ball will most likely go out of bounds. In the NBA 2K18,
I hated that shit.
to save the ball when the ball is tipped out to you. That's one thing that I noticed. Also, there's I wouldn't say a new animation, but something else that I noticed is that after you get a rebound, some centers hold the ball in the air so that it can't get ripped. Now, I don't think that's something you can control. I just think that it depends on what certain type of rebound animation that you get. But I definitely think it's cool
that sounds like cheese already.
The ball in the air, because sometimes they will bring the ball low, which wouldn't.
I don't know how, but it just sounds like cheese.
And speaking about stealing, there's a new animation in the game to when if you both dive for the ball, you'll fight for it, okay? So just like how in Madden, you guys know when there's a fumble on the floor and everybody dives on top of the fumble, that's basically how it will be in NBA 2K18. But there won't be anything like you can spam A to get the ball or something. I don't know how it determines who gets the ball, but I do know that you can scrap for it and the ball can like tip while you're on the floor, okay? A lot of you guys were discussing badges in NBA 2K17, and you guys were asking me like, yo, Anon, are there any new badges in NBA 2K18? As I was playing the game and I was checking players' badges, I did not see any new badge. For the most part, it was the same, like ankle breaker, brick wall, you know,
the badge system was good though.
Interceptor, no, there's no interceptor in the game.
Let me pause real quick.
There's no
the badge system. The badge system was really good in this 2K. I like how they had like 5 Hall of Fame and then the rest were Brown. That balanced out everything. Like you had 5 really good ones and then everything else was just decent. And then you have your ultimate grand badge that's like made just for your archetype. That's a good badge system. I like that. Keep that exactly the same way. That's a great badge system right there. Just make it to where we can see how far we're into getting our badge. Like badge progression. Like how far we're getting this badge. Like how far along we're gonna get this badge. Like it's have a bar under the badge name, and then when the bar's filled up, you know you're gonna get you're gonna get the badge the next game or something like that. So have it like that. Have it to where we know when we're gonna get the badge, like badge progression. That's how I feel, and also the badge system is really good in this 2K. I like that. I love it. I love the badge system. I love it, bro. They shouldn't change anything about that. So just add in the badge progression to see how far along you're gonna get the badge, and make the grind shorter. I think like the grind shouldn't be as long. Like you shouldn't be trying to get 1,000 assists at once. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you're trying to get diamond for playmakers and go out there in the park. It should be like 500. Not 1,000, bro. Not tripping with that. It should not be 1,000 assists, bro. But anyways, I think it was like 1,500 assists, and then you had to get like 1,000 double moves leading to a score or a pass for ankle breaker. Cause I had a playmaker point for it. I had a point for it, and it was so hard to grind for him. When I finished grinding, I was like, bro, I was so happy because I'm done. I was done with that. But yeah, I think the grind should be shorter. It shouldn't be as long. But that's really it, though.
Rapper, there's none of the old badges from NBA 2K16, but for the most part, after all the characters I saw, the badges were exactly. Also, one more thing, a lot of you guys were asking me about Lonzo Ball's jump shot in NBA 2K18. Is it nice? Does it look good? Does it drop? I actually forgot to check Lonzo's badges. I apologize, but Lonzo's jump shot is a normal release. Okay, I definitely don't think that it will be used in park or etc. because it's not quick enough. But if you guys like normal releases, it's pretty good. It looks exactly like the recreated shot that some other YouTubers have on NBA 2K17. Another thing that I noticed on defensive switching was that on screens, you guys know how arrows change. It still takes a long time for the arrow to change, but like as I said before, that there's less magnetic pull, so you don't get pulled as much.
That's yes.
Also, you can also dribble around.
I gotta pause this. Thank you. I'm glad no one said that. I'm glad he brought that up. I'm glad that 2K is changing that, because that was so bad when you're guarding, you're trying to switch off the screen and whatnot, and then you're trying to go back to your man and you're holding LT. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you do aggressive defense, intense defense, and like you run to the other guy because you're doing intense defense. Not even trying to do that, but 2K controls your defense for you sometimes. And then sometimes on the screen, like I said this on my video way back about how screens were really bad, even though I used them, but they're still really bad in OP. Is to where when you're holding LT and you move a little bit, you get sucked into the screen. And that's so unrealistic. I don't know. That's been happening all 2K. That's been happening all year long. To where when you hold LT and you move a little bit to the side of the screener, even though you're not hitting the screen, you get sucked into the screen, and then guy hits your three, or guy just scores. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad they finally took that out. Thank you, because the LT was one of the worst buttons on 2K. When you hold LT on defense and somebody drove in, you're just holding LT and nothing else. We call it LT. Just called it LT foul, bro. It was so bad. But I hope they fix LT itself, because it was bad. But it was bad, bro. The defense for LT was so bad. The way you moved, you couldn't even control your mouth play sometimes. It was bad. Thank God Loing said they fixed it. Hopefully it's fully fixed, or not just halfway, or they patch it like always. You know what I'm saying?
Bump animations, which I think is pretty cool. You don't really get stopped anymore, so if you're a dribble head from now on, you can like dribble around bumps. Which another new feature in NBA 2K18 is screen shaking. Okay, one thing that I noticed was that when the game gets down to a close wire and the game is very close, within the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, the screen will be shaking just because of the intensity of the crowd and etc. You also get to silence the crowd after you score the ball, which I think is a really dope feature. I think it's a little bit too excessive, because after you silence the crowd, sometimes the next possession the crowd will start shaking again. If you ask me personally, it's the same shake as the free throw shake, so the whole game will be shaking for the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. But as I said before, if you're not nervous, you can silence the crowd, and it'll also vibrate your controller as well. So I definitely think a feature they added to the game, and I'm willing to see who's gonna fold under pressure and who's not. One more thing, you guys, in NBA 2K18 that I noticed was the substitutions menu and the zone menu. So in order to substitute players and call different zones, it's now button press, so you can hit X and circle to substitute players.
That sounds weird.
X or circle or triangle to
that sounds weird.
Zones instead of flicking the direction of your stick or circle.
See, bro, like 2K is always changing something that does not need to be changed. Back in like 2K15, I believe, is like when all you have to do is hit the D-pad like to the left and just change your player like that. It's so easy and so quick. But then this 2K, you gotta go hit the D-pad, go to the player, go to the place position, pick some, it's just extra stuff added. That's not necessary at all. 2K just likes to be extra with stuff. 2K15, I think it was when you had to just hit the D-pad and you would see the guy, you just switch him with another guy. That was the best substitution. It was so easy and simple, and you could do it quick while you're in the offensive play. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm saying you hit buttons. I feel like that's gonna be stupid. Like, you're gonna get confused because you're trying to play. Like, I don't understand that you're hitting buttons while you're trying to sub. Are you on offense, defense? Cause either way, you're hitting the button. You're in the motion of the game. The D-pad didn't do anything but substitute. The buttons he's saying, like he said, X and Y, whatever, you're using that to shoot, block, stuff like that. So we're going to see. I'm scared. Like, here we go again with these extra stuff 2K does, but whatever.
Way, which I think is really cool, really dope feature, and it makes it really easier. Anyway, you guys, it's your boy Annoying TV. Those were the last noticeable differences I've known about NBA 2K18. If I forgot anything, you guys let me know in the comment section. I'll speak about it. Again, we could only play quick game. I don't know about any other game modes, or even if they're in the game, such as Pro-Am, My Park, My Career, and everything else. But anyway, it's your boy Annoying TV. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe. How do you guys feel about NBA 2K18, man? Are you guys excited or what?
Alright, that was the end of Annoying's video. I like this video, bro. It was good. He got to a lot of good topics about the defense, the badges, and stuff like that. Like the defense was, I loved what he said about the LT thing. Thank you, they fixed that. But really, I feel like this 2K is gonna be one of the best 2Ks. Just if 2K don't try to be too much with stuff, you know what I'm saying? Unnecessary stuff, just doing extra stuff for no reason, just to make themselves look good, and then they mess it up. But anyways, that's really it. I'll write it to the Annoying video. Go ahead, you guys check out his channel. You can see him on the screen. It's Annoying TV. That's really it, though, you guys. Make sure you give me a like, subscribe, and comment down below.